5 bedroom items that emit toxic radiation. After 65, most seniors sleep right beside number 4. Have you ever woken up feeling exhausted, even after a full 8 hours of sleep? No pain, no stress. And yet somehow it feels like all the energy has been drained out of you overnight. If this sounds familiar, the culprit might be right inside your bedroom. And what's more, it's likely been there for decades, without you even realizing it. I'm not talking about your bed or your mattress. I'm talking about the seemingly harmless objects like your alarm clock, your Wi-Fi router, or that electric blanket you cozy up with every winter. They make no sound, they have no smell, but they emit something your body becomes increasingly vulnerable to after 65 electromagnetic radiation EMF. I'm 75 now, and I used to dismiss all of this until my memory began to slip, my sleep grew shorter, and my health took a sharp dip for no clear reason. Then one night, I tried something simple. I cleared my bedroom of unnecessary electronics, unplugged it all. And within just 2 weeks, I felt like I came back to life. In this video, I want to share with you 7 common bedroom items that could be quietly cutting years off your life after 65, and how to remove their impact with simple steps you can take tonight. If you still want to wake up feeling refreshed, with enough energy to take a walk, tend your garden, or play with your grandkids, this video is for you. And if you know someone who could benefit from this too, don't hesitate to share it with them. If you'd like to keep getting simple, caring reminders like this every day, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now let's dive into today's topic. 1. That small alarm clock might be quietly zapping your brain every night. Do you keep a digital alarm clock right next to your bed? You're not alone. Most of us do. It's convenient. You can check the time when you wake up in the middle of the night. Some even use it to monitor their heart rate or blood pressure. But here's what no one told you. That little device is emitting electromagnetic waves that your aging body can no longer handle like it used to. I used to think I was just sensitive to light or noise, but every morning I woke up foggy, heavy-headed, frustrated for no reason. It felt like I slept but didn't rest. Then I came across a study from Mayo Clinic. It showed that even low-level radiation from devices like clocks can disrupt melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, memory, and immunity in seniors. An old friend of mine, Evelyn, she's 73, once told me she hadn't slept well for over 5 years. She tried everything: new mattresses, herbal teas, even sleeping pills. Nothing really worked. Then, after moving to a new house, she didn't reinstall her old digital clock. And from the very first night, her sleep got deeper. Within 2 weeks, the change was unbelievable. She woke up energized, skipped her morning coffee, and felt like herself again. All because of one small change, removing a device that was silently radiating her brain all night. You see, sometimes the things we live with for decades become so familiar we stop questioning them. But familiar doesn't mean safe, especially after 65, when our bodies are more sensitive to even the smallest nighttime triggers. If you're using a digital clock, try placing it at least 3 feet away from your bed. Or better yet, switch to a battery-powered analog clock. You might be surprised at what a difference a radiation-free night of sleep can make. Do you currently use a digital clock? Have you ever noticed a change in how you sleep when there are no electronics in your room? Feel free to share your experience in the comments, because your story just might help someone else sleep better tonight. Now, let's move on to the second silent threat in your bedroom. And this one might be sitting right next to your pillow, emitting waves all night long. 2. Your Wi-Fi router might be beaming through your brain while you sleep without you knowing it. Did you know that your Wi-Fi signal keeps broadcasting all night, even while you're fast asleep? I used to think it's just invisible waves. Harmless, right? But it turns out for people over 65, those invisible signals might be slowly weakening the one thing we need to protect most: our brain. When we're young, our brain is protected by something called the blood-brain barrier. Think of it as a shield blocking toxins and harmful electromagnetic waves from reaching brain tissue. But according to a Harvard study after age 65, that barrier becomes more porous, weakening year by year. That means signals from Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and other wireless devices can sneak through and directly affect the areas responsible for memory, sleep, and cognitive function. Stanley, a friend from my senior wellness group, is 71. He started forgetting simple things, where he put his keys, or repeating the same story to his wife during dinner. He got checked out, even had an MRI. Everything came back normal. But the real change didn't come from medicine. It came when he moved the Wi-Fi router out of his bedroom. Just 3 weeks later, he told me his memory had started improving. His sleep was deeper, and most surprisingly, he no longer woke up in the middle of the night with that strange, anxious feeling. According to Mayo Clinic, sleeping close to wireless signal sources can double the risk of mild cognitive impairment after 65. But the solution is simple: move your router out of your bedroom or set a timer to turn off Wi-Fi while you sleep. You don't need to be afraid of technology, but you do have the right to let your body truly rest. Do you keep your Wi-Fi router in the bedroom? Try moving it away or unplugging it at night. Just give it a week and see if you notice a difference. And if you have any helpful tips for reducing EMF exposure in the bedroom, share them in the comments. Your advice might be exactly what someone else needs. Now let's move on to the next silent bedroom intruder, one that smells like clean air, but might be quietly damaging your lungs. 3. Artificial scents, a clean smell that could be hurting your lungs. There's something comforting about walking into your bedroom and smelling lavender, orange blossom, or pine. For many seniors, it feels like a way to keep the space fresh and calming. But did you know that those pleasant scents might actually be weakening your lungs night after night? I used to use a plug-in scent diffuser, one of those devices with synthetic oils and a soft nightlight. I believed it helped me sleep better. Then one night, I woke up coughing a dry, scratchy cough that burned my throat. I thought it was just the weather, but it kept happening for weeks. Eventually, I unplugged the diffuser. That very night was the first I slept through without coughing. According to Mayo Clinic, these plug-in air fresheners often release chemicals known as VOCs, volatile organic compounds. When combined with heat or electromagnetic waves, they can irritate your airways, especially in people over 60 whose respiratory systems are more vulnerable. Many of us think these smells are harmless, but these artificial particles don't break down naturally in the lungs. Instead, they accumulate. Virginia, 77, had been diagnosed with chronic bronchitis. She tried all kinds of medication, but nothing worked. It wasn't until a doctor suggested she check her bedroom air and she discovered the culprit, a scent ionizer she'd left running day and night for 3 years. After 65, it's better to choose real air over fake freshness. If you still want a clean-smelling room, try dried cinnamon sticks, sun-dried orange peels, or simply open the window for a few minutes in the evening. Do you use air fresheners in your room? Try going without them for a few nights and listen to what your lungs are telling you. And if you've had a similar experience, share it. Your story might help someone else breathe a little easier. 4. Charging your phone beside the bed, the silent enemy of sleep and brain cells. Most of us charge our phones right next to the bed every night, for the alarm clock, for convenience, or simply because it's become a habit. I did it for over 10 years, until I read a warning from Harvard Health: cell phones emit the strongest signals while charging. And if they're too close to your head, especially during deep sleep, they can increase oxidative stress in your neurons, making your brain age faster without you realizing it. Sounds hard to believe, right? But I tried a small change. I moved my phone charger to the living room and bought a small analog alarm clock. Within just a week, I was sleeping more deeply, waking up clear-headed, and best of all, I no longer woke up at 2 a.m. just to check emails or unnecessary texts. Thomas, 69. A retired electrical engineer once told me, "When I was younger, I thought electromagnetic waves didn't matter. But your body at 70 isn't the same as it was at 30. Now, even the smallest exposures can have big consequences. The truth is, while we sleep, our brains need optimal recovery. But if a charging phone keeps sending out signals right next to our head, the brain can't fully enter deep sleep cycles. That's why, after 65, you might sleep for 8 hours and still feel drained if your sleep environment isn't truly quiet. So if you're still charging your phone next to your pillow, try making the change tonight. Move the charger at least 6 feet away, or charge your phone before bed. You might be surprised, just one small adjustment could give you a sleep that feels 20 years younger. Have you ever tried leaving your phone out of the bedroom? If so, share your experience in the comments. You never know, your story might inspire someone else to start a healthier sleep routine. Next, let's talk about something that brings you warmth, but might be silently hurting your heart and joints night after night. 5. Warmth at the cost of joint pain, heart stress, and body imbalance. Have you ever woken up with more aches and stiffness after a warm, cozy night? It sounds backward, but for older adults, warmth doesn't always come from heavy blankets. Sometimes it comes from devices that quietly damage your health night after night. One common thing after 65 is nighttime coldness. Joints ache, feet feel numb, and winter nights often come with soft groans of discomfort. So it's no surprise many people turn to electric blankets, heated pillows, or warming pads to sleep better. But what's the cost of that comfort? I used an electric blanket for 3 winters. At first, it felt amazing, warm, cozy, and it helped me fall asleep fast. But over time, I began waking up tired with minor joint pain, even though I hadn't done anything strenuous. Then I noticed my heart racing on mornings after using the blanket on its highest setting. I wondered, was it just aging, or was I missing something? A Harvard Medical School article opened my eyes. Electric blankets emit electromagnetic radiation over your entire body for hours. Because it's in direct contact with your skin, your body is essentially soaked in low-level EMFs all night. Younger folks can recover quickly, but for older adults, that radiation can trigger chronic inflammation, disrupt cardiovascular rhythms, and disturb deep sleep cycles, especially when used for months on end. Dorothy, 75, suffered from ongoing neck and shoulder pain. Nothing helped until her daughter replaced the electric blanket with a natural cotton one and added a pair of soft wool socks. Within a week, her pain was gone, and more surprisingly, her mood lifted. She no longer woke up grumpy. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has also warned that electric heating devices can interfere with the body's natural temperature regulation during sleep, something that's especially critical after 65. When your core temperature fluctuates too much, your heart has to work harder, your nervous system gets overstimulated, and chronic fatigue or insomnia may follow. You don't have to freeze at night, but you shouldn't pay for warmth with your health. Try lower EMF alternatives, thermal blankets made from natural fibers, warm water bottles, thick wool socks, or herbal heating pillows. Avoid sleeping with plugged-in devices right under your covers. And if you've ever stopped using an electric blanket for health reasons, share your story in the comments. You might give someone the push they need to make a small change for a much better night's rest. Now let's move on to an important question. Why are younger people seemingly unaffected by these devices, while older adults feel the impact more and more each year? 6. Why EMF radiation becomes more harmful after 65. It's not because your body is weaker, but because your internal defenses are wearing thin. There are changes after 65 that you can't see with the naked eye, but they make you far more vulnerable to environmental signals, especially electromagnetic waves. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that older adults experience a significant drop in melatonin production, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep cell repair and stress. At the same time, cell membranes become thinner and less elastic, making it easier for EMFs to penetrate. The blood-brain barrier, your brain's main defense for memory and cognition, begins to leak, allowing weak signals like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and EMF to slip through. This is why older adults are more prone to sleep disruptions, memory issues, and chronic fatigue, even without any serious illness. Devices that seem small and harmless, like alarm clocks, charging phones, or air purifiers, can gradually place extra stress on your nervous and cardiovascular systems when kept near your body overnight. I once spoke with a geriatric specialist in San Diego. He told me an older body is like an old radio, extremely sensitive to interference. The less static, the better it works. At the time, I thought it was a clever metaphor. But the older I get, the more I see how true it is. According to a Harvard Health survey, adults over 70 take twice as long to regenerate neurons compared to those in their 40s if sleep is disrupted by nighttime EMF exposure. That means a single poor night's sleep caused by radiation isn't just about one night, it's the beginning of days of fatigue that follow. You don't need to live in fear of technology. But if you know you're becoming more sensitive, more fragile, why not create a gentler, more restful space for yourself? Turn off unnecessary electronics at night. Keep at least 6 feet between your body and any power source while sleeping. Use warm amber lighting or a natural salt lamp instead of harsh LED lights. And if you've ever noticed your body improving when you reduced exposure to electronic devices, share your story in the comments. Your lived experience could be the key that helps someone else find their way back to peaceful sleep. Now let's move to the final part where we redesign your entire bedroom into a place that truly restores your health each night. 7. How to reset your bedroom to sleep. Better feel healthier and live longer. When was the last time you woke up feeling truly refreshed? Not just okay, not fine, but actually clear-headed light in your body, like you'd fully recovered from the night before. For years, that feeling vanished from my life until I decided to change the way I set up my bedroom. I've always been careful with my diet, regular with my exercise, and diligent with my medical checkups, but my sleep remained inconsistent. I'd wake up with a dry mouth, a racing heart, or sometimes even feel dizzy getting out of bed. I thought it was just aging until a geriatric doctor told me, "Robert, if you're sleeping in a room filled with electrical waves and artificial light, everything you do right during the day gets undone in a few hours each night." So I started small. I unplugged my digital clock and replaced it with a simple battery-powered one. I moved power strips at least 6 feet away from the bed. Every night I set a timer to turn off the Wi-Fi router so it would rest when I did. I swapped out my LED lights for a soft amber night lamp, and I placed a small snake plant by the window, one that purifies air gently through the night without needing electricity. I also got rid of synthetic air fresheners and replaced them with a small herbal pouch, some dried lavender and sun-dried orange peel tucked in a corner. Not only did it smell pleasant, but it helped me sleep deeper. Within 10 days, I stopped waking up in the middle of the night. No more half-awake mornings. And what surprised me most, I felt more emotionally at ease, like my body was grateful for finally being able to rest. Redesigning your bedroom doesn't mean buying a bunch of stuff. It's often about removing things, those conveniences that are quietly stealing years from your life, one night at a time. Start with your bed. What's plugged in nearby? What's blinking, even with the lights off? What's sending out invisible waves that you don't hear, but your body still receives? Try changing just one thing at a time. Unplug something tonight. Turn off the Wi-Fi tomorrow. Leave your phone in the living room the next night. And after a week, ask yourself, do I feel better? If you have any tips for making your bedroom a place of true restoration, leave them in the comments. Your small idea might be someone else's first step toward better health. And if you'd like to keep receiving gentle reminders and real-life stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We have many more stories to share and many more ways to grow healthier, one night, one day at a time.